Lazy comedians. Brad Pitt's bad hair. How about playing 9-3 offsuit in a poker game? Just a few things that my guest today and I talk about. Welcome to Walt's Kitchen Table, where I feature captivating stories from fascinating people. Sharon, today, fascinating, awesome to talk to, all around great person, just a whip with comments back and forth, which you'll see. Had a great time. Other things we talk about, ghosts, PCH, muscle cars, and one hell of a first date that led into marriage. Let's get to it.
Your protection, because my head is so
That's
small.
not a bad thing. So we started this with
brain.
Peanut Head.
I have a very small brain.
Wow. Well, we'll leave that one alone. So you got to be about this close to it.
About that close.
Can you hear me?
I can hear. Well,
Now you got to be a little closer.
no, I don't know if I'm hearing you, though, through the headphones or just through naturally.
No, it's through the headphones.
Okay. It's very natural sounding.
Is it? Huh?
It is.
So
It
not
is.
bad.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Well, yeah, unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
See,
So
we
that's-
started this
That's how it's going to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I know that you can handle it.
I just spilled seltzer. Like, it totally exploded. Thanks, but... Oh, good. I want to ask about this.
What? I got a story about that.
That's what I want to ask, because there's clearly a story about it, because you hashtag it. And
All
nobody
the time.
hashtags without a story.
Come on. Really?
The hashtag is the passive-aggressive way to get a point across.
I like that. I've never heard of that. That actually is pretty
I just
good.
made it up. But no, it really is. It's like hashtag best mom ever. What?
Okay, so what? You took your kid to the park, so
Right.
now you're the best mom
Yeah,
ever?
you didn't drink this afternoon?
See, I was going PG on that.
No, you got the wrong audience.
Yeah.
But hashtag orange towel, it's like, well, what does that mean? What's that about? Ooh. It's very mysterious.
Yes, we'll get into that later.
Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks for coming down.
Hey, thanks for
We are
having me.
recording, so you know.
Okay.
We have been, especially when I called you a peanut head.
It's all good.
All right, good. No, you were on my list because I know you were very artistic on Facebook. So with all your little quirks and comments,
All right.
and
Could we actually say what you're really thinking? Because I'd
You're a
rather
fucking
that
smartass.
instead of me having to
you're a
interpret.
total fucking smartass,
It's true.
and it's awesome. It's very entertaining.
Oh, good.
It's very
I'm
entertaining.
glad, because I crack myself up like hourly.
So when you're typing, do you like giggle at yourself
lot of
while you're
times,
typing? Oh, that's psycho behavior though.
It's completely psychotic.
So like 6 months or a year from now, the cops are going to be like, so you had Sharon on your podcast, and did you know this? She was a serial killer at the time. No,
They'd be
no,
like,
I had no
Oh,
clue.
see, no, there's signs.
Yeah.
That's
No,
on you.
it'd be like, fuck yeah, I did. How come you didn't say nothing? I don't know.
You're like, she told me she giggles as she types to herself, and that's a classic sign.
That's it. So, like, where did you come up with the idea to put all that stuff on Facebook, like the questionnaires and stuff? Is that just something you...
That my group page.
Yeah.
That came out. Honestly,
Gotta get a little closer.
I started that. Is this better? I started that right
That
after.
way I can't
and
see your
I know
face. I can't see your face when you get closer to.
It's a lot easier to do this if you can't see this mess. I've got a great face for radio, though.
Oh, well, I agree.
Perfect face
Oh,
for
I mean,
radio.
no, that's not true. That's not true.
I started it right, literally, I think it was like a couple days after the election. And I'm not going to get political on this, but what I saw was there was just so much divisiveness and so much division pre-election between sides.
Right.
And everybody that was involved, like everyone that had like an emotional stake in that, were more alike than they were different, because they were all emotionally invested in this. Maybe their views are different, but their passion and their energy about it was the same. So I kind of was tired of my Facebook feed being nothing but that, of just political stuff. I was tired of seeing that. And I really wanted to just make a place where everybody could see that maybe they have opposing views, but there's a lot of similarities.
Oh, absolutely.
Everybody
Totally
has
agree.
more in common than they have different. And that's really kind of why I started that, was like, hey, you know what? You might feel one way about, politics, and I might feel a different, but we both like Captain Crunch. or we both
Or-
like this, or
or
we both
like-
do that.
Or when your spouse wants sex at 3 a.m.
Right.
That was a good one.
That was a very good
That
one.
was a good one. I
That
saw
was-
that and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta send that to Sharon because that'll be a
There's
good
a
one.
couple that you've said. I'm like, ooh, I need to clean this up a little. For,
Oh, you can't do
for
that.
public. The most recent one. I was like,
What's
yeah,
the,
I need
what's
to
the
clean.
one I just say?
I can't remember it. I got to clean it up though.
Yeah, I like those. See,
I got to de-Walt.
yeah. See how I think of you. See,
I'm so okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
It's very entertaining, because I think that social media should be more, well, in my opinion, more entertaining, or what it was originally intended for. Like I have friends like in Colorado and California and in New York, and even around the world, Japan and Switzerland and stuff. And it's cool to see what they're doing. Like they go on a bike ride with their husband and, that's cool.
Yeah, they're at the beach with their kids. They're making dinner.
Right.
Totally, I agree.
But to get on there and just bitch, it's like, seriously, dude?
Yeah.
And that's where, I don't know if you've ever seen, I don't put a lot of it out publicly, but I say it a lot, is the zero fucks given. Mm-hmm. Right? And people misunderstand that. They're like, you can't just not give a fuck. Okay,
Actually.
well, you can.
Actually,
right?
I can.
Well, you can. But my theory on that is I see something on social media or somebody comes to me, hey, what's a good one? Did you see what Bob did in accounting? I don't fucking care what Bob did in accounting. That's where the zero fucks come in.
Right.
Do I care about me and mine and my
it
family and
doesn't mean
my
you
friends?
don't care about anything. It just means that there are things you do not care at all about.
I don't give a shit. Yeah.
Right.
And
exactly.
the joke is, I left the house this morning with 13 fucks.
Right.
How many do you think I came home with? 13.
That's right.
Because I didn't give a fuck.
That's right, because I'm not giving any of them away for no reason.
Right. Of course, my friends and family and me and all that. Obviously, of course I give a shit about that.
Absolutely.
But it's like, oh, did you see what Facebook, perfect stuff, oh, Trump's doing this,
Yeah,
or
I just don't care.
or this happened, or this. I just don't. Seriously, I don't care. I
yeah.
put my energy somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. I can't
that's
care
where
about
the zero
that stuff.
fucks come in. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a long time to get there, and I wish I had that wisdom 20 years ago, when I was in my 20s and 30s, and just all the anxiety and the things that I worried about and cared about and put my energy and resources into, that in hindsight, none of
that's
it
what
fucking
Coke's for.
mattered. Yeah, see, I was busy raising kids and working full time.
Oh, no
and,
shit. When did you have your first kid?
It was about a month after my 18th birthday.
No shit.
Yeah. So
Man.
it was thrown headfirst into adulthood. And get an office job that paid good, that made that gave us benefits
Sure.
and everything, so that I could support us both. And,
Was Eric?
No. It was a previous relationship. Did not get married, which worked out fine because that would have been a mistake for both of us.
Right.
So it was just kind of a happy accident that I didn't plan on, but wouldn't have changed a
anything,
thing.
sure.
Would
That's
change
awesome.
nothing, because all of that brought me to where I am now, and I'm really happy with where I am now.
Cool.
But yeah, it was a lot of work. And it was, when all of my friends were out going to school or going to the bars or, doing all
Taking
those
care of
things.
the kids.
I had the life of someone 10 years older. And it's funny because when I broke it off with my eldest son's father, I really thought I was going to be alone forever. Like, who the hell wants like a 19, 20-year-old girl with a 2-year-old? I didn't think anybody. And I was completely okay with that. I accepted that as my fate. And it was like, all right, so then it's just going to be me and him for a while, and that's cool.
Right. And were you living here in Jersey?
I was in Jersey. I was living with my parents, who, thank God for them, they really were super supportive. A lot of my family was.
Okay.
And then Eric and my husband and I had been friends for about 5 or 6 years at that point. And, things just kind of worked out. And we got together, and he completely took on everything that it was required. And he treated my eldest son as if he was his own. And I've always kind of considered Eric like a gift from the universe, for me accepting something that was thrown on me and accepting all that came with it, good and bad, and being like, hey, you know what? And you and I are poker buddies, and one of the big sayings of my life is, you play the hand you're dealt. and you play the hell out of it. And sometimes you bluff if you gotta,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
play
yeah.
the hell out of that hand as best
Absolutely.
as you can.
Absolutely. You know me,
And,
that
yeah.
9-3, man, I'll play the shit out of that.
Oh yeah,
We'll get into that later.
Yeah, I can't even. You're one of. I consider it a success, and I said this after you left. I'm like, if I can outlast Walt and Don, I consider that a success, even if I don't win, even if I don't make top
that's
four.
awesome. Well,
if I can outlast you guys, because you guys are just so good at what you do,
Yeah.
I feel good about myself at the end of the night.
I'm going to burst your bubble a little bit
Okay.
on that. That game is just fucking so fun.
It really is.
Oh my God. I died laughing the whole time.
It's a good time.
And if I get these, like you said, you play the cards you're dealt, hands down. But if I'm getting good cards and I'll play them, right? But perfect example last time, I didn't get shit. Card dead. Yeah, everybody says that, but I was fucking card dead, right? Well, with you guys, I know how you guys play. I could fucking name 9 times out of 10. I could name your fucking hand. If you're in the hand,
there are times you will call what that person had, and that's exactly what they had. Like you knew.
Right. So the 9-3 joke.
It's a little not fair, but whatever.
The 9-3 joke comes in. You guys, you bet, raise, call, and I look down. I got 9-3. I'm like, oh, my fucking odds are good. Because you all got fucking top 10 hands. So that means there's nothing but fucking little cards left in the deck.
Right.
Right? And then I beat you guys. And you're like, what the fuck? God damn you,
fucking Walt.
Fucking Walt playing that shit. Well, it's just playing odds, man. But I live to bust you motherfuckers with shitty hands. I totally play. I throw my game right out the window.
That is the bitch of it, because it's like, all right, he probably has a shit hand, but he just went all in, and I really want to see what he's got, because I think he's full of shit.
You've called me a couple times on it. You've called me a couple
have.
times.
And sometimes it goes all right for me, and other times it has gone horribly wrong for me.
Of course I got to change shit up. But yeah, well, I went down to Atlantic City yesterday.
Oh, okay. I'm going next weekend.
So on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah, I'm going Sunday with my sister.
I don't know. You can play?
No, I mean I'll sit at other tables, but I won't go I don't do the poker room.
What?
I'm not gonna. I'm there with somebody who doesn't play poker. I'm not gonna make them knock around for hours while I'm at a table.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean I'll sit at 4.
Really? Come on, stop. You're embarrassing yourself.
Fuck you all. No, I'll sit down at like a 4 card or something I can get up and walk away when I'm done.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like every couple months, the Val goes into the city and does these workshops.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I go down and. The Nugget has a $100 12 o'clock game.
Okay.
And Bally's has a $3.15 $45 game.
Okay.
So I get in the 12 o'clock game. Of course, I'm going to play as long as I can. Well, it happens yesterday. I busted at $3.15. So it takes like 20 minutes to get over to Bally's, right? So I jumped into that one and made the final table and was like out like 3 before the money or something.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But normally when I go into the Bally's game, because it's a turbo too, I kind of play pretty loose. I just happened to have some cards yesterday and I had the table just fucking on tilt.
Yeah.
Oh man, and of course I showed a few bluffs and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like,
hey, you fell for it.
Yeah.
That's on you.
Yeah.
Like you're just doing your job.
Yeah. Thanks for your tips. But going back to Eric.
Right.
God sent.
Oh yeah, he's a good
awesome
dude, man. He really is. Good dude.
He just helped my wife out a little bit.
Yeah, he told me.
Because her dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is fucking. See, when I talk to him, of course you see the fucking hoarders on TV or whatever, right? But after talking to him, holy, that is like an epidemic.
We had no idea.
Yeah, like you could drive down the street.
You
have no idea these houses would. Oh.
Sometimes you can tell some of them from the street because everything's very overgrown. Sometimes they have a ton of garbage in their yard, so it's obvious.
Sure.
But like you said, many of them you have no idea.
That's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah, it's sad. But what it really boils down to is it's mental illness that they have, be it chemical or sometimes like I know somebody that developed a brain tumor and their behavior changed dramatically and they started hoarding because of the brain tumor. So it could be something physiological as well. But a lot of times it's just mental illness. And it's
sad.
that
happened to Roseanne Barr. That's why she's the way she is. Car accident.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know it either till a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But she was just like, fuck, I don't know how she was before. Got in a car accident, banged her head real hard. She
Yeah.
can't fucking, just where she is now, can't like stop talking.
That's yeah.
And people are
that's
like, I
too
can't
bad.
believe she said that. Well, how the fuck do you know?
Well, yeah.
What it did is it brought awareness to me now. Like when I hear somebody on the street or hear somebody on TV or whatever, you just fucking never know what their story is.
And that's really what it boils down to, man, is we all just accept each other for who we are, because that's all anybody wants, is to be accepted for who they are.
Yeah, yep.
No matter what they look like, what religion, race, country of origin, background, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Everyone just wants to be accepted for who they are.
Yeah, it's crazy. What? How long you been married?
23 years. Yeah, long time. So to get back to that,
Congratulations.
thank you. So we've been doing, we got married young, especially by today's standards. At the time it wasn't, but we were early 20s. And Eric has always he probably has the most ridiculous work ethic of anybody
He's got a ton
I've
of
ever
shit
met.
going on.
An insane amount, and that's how he likes it. He is very dedicated to whatever it is that he is doing and involved in. And so for the first 20 years or so of our relationship, we've just been working our asses off and raising kids and just doing that thing. And all of our friends have always been 10 years older than us because they all had kids our age.
Right, sure. Oh,
So
I see.
yeah,
I
so
see.
we're like 10 years ahead of everyone our age. So I've got friends that are having babies now, and they're my age, and I'm like, I'm done. Like my
Yay.
last is 8. My youngest just turned 18.
How many
He's
kids do you have?
graduated. 2 boys.
2 boys.
My oldest is 27, lives in Austin. After
Great
he
city.
did, yep, oh yeah, fun city. After he graduated high school, he went into the Army, did 1 contract with the Army, did a deployment to Afghanistan, all that.
Was it 4 years?
3.5.
3.5.
And then he just stayed in Texas when he got out, and he's doing awesome. He's doing so good on his own. And the youngest graduated high school this year, and we're like free and clear.
Now what do you
And
gonna
it's
do?
great. Oh, everything. Everything.
Take that Camaro, man.
we
Fucking get out of here.
We've got a lot of road trips planned. But yeah, we went down the shore this week for the day. And it was just the 2 of us just sitting on the beach, hanging out. Like we didn't have to worry about feeding anybody or wiping anybody's hands or making sure somebody
Well,
had
unless you're doing that
extra
to
change
Eric.
of clothes. No, I told you, he is super independent. And that's a big reason why I fell in love with him, I guess, or have always respected the hell out of him, because he's not an overgrown, he's not a man-child. He's never been a man-child.
Right. And I say that, Val and I actually got talking about it last night, and I always thought this about you and Eric as well, that there's 3 relationships in my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
There's me. I have my own shit going on. Val is not my world. Right? Is it fucking phenomenal she's in it? Absolutely. Do I like her in it? Absolutely. Right? But I lived fucking 40 years without her.
Right.
Right?
Yes,
So
you
when-
already have a nice established identity and life
Right.
before you even
Yeah,
met.
these people are like, I couldn't live without you. Man, shut the fuck up, dude. You know?
Like, would I be devastated without him in my life?
Oh
Totally.
my God, I would be. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd
But
go down for a
I'm
while.
not going to like throw myself on the funeral pyre and burn up in
Exact-
flames either.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No offense, baby, but it's not happening.
love you, baby, but-
I love you, but
Well, people too are like, if you die, you die and Val sleeps with somebody the day of your funeral. Who fuck? I go, so? I'm fucking gone.
right.
Who the-
And that's her decision to
It's her,
make.
yeah, it's on her own. So the 3, it's me. Val's the same way, right? And then we have our marriage,
Right.
Right. So I'm completely independent of Val. She's completely independent of me. But we truly enjoy fucking being together.
Yeah.
So it just
And that's great.
Yeah.
Because that's not
There's
easy
no
to find.
codependence.
Yeah, and
Right.
I know relationships that have that codependency, and there's always resentment, or there's always feelings of obligation, and that just kind of breeds a toxic element, I think, in relationships. But we're very very self-sufficient people. There's no like gender roles. Like I'll be out there detailing cars, and he'll be
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
cooking dinner.
right.
There's none of that.
No,
and there
Val's
never has
barefoot
been.
pregnant in the kitchen.
Right? Yeah. No.
Yeah, you know Val. Shit, fuck. I'm pregnant barefoot in the kitchen compared to her. But like the thing too is a couple weeks ago, she went to California to take care of her dad.
Right.
We were talking about it. I physically didn't speak to her, text her, speak to her, anything for like 5 days. Because I always say, Mike Tyson quoted this, and I fucking love it.
You got to say it in his voice.
Oh, I can't do it.
Oh, yeah,
I can't.
You gotta.
No,
Well, then it's not accurate.
Yeah, man, that's true. All right. But everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Right.
Right? So Val and her sister planned on going out, take care of her dad, and they like planned everything out. They're like, well, as soon as we get here, we're going to do this, this, and this, and this. Well, as soon as they walked in, they didn't have any idea what they were walking into, right? So, quote, quote,
uppercut.
They got fucking punched in the face, right? They were working like 15 hours a day and me, I was like, hey, well, call me if you need me.
Totally.
I don't need to be like, hey.
Right.
Hi. Oh, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
Fucking grown ass adults, man. I know you're busy. I'm not going to fucking bother you.
We have a kind of it's funny because we never talked about it, but he and I are both very busy during our day. We're both on the road. We're both, we don't sit in an office, neither of us.
No.
And we just have this unspoken code that if it's something you kind of want me to see, email it to me if there's no time crunch. If it's something that has a bit of a time thing, we'll text.
Right.
Do not call unless you are bleeding out and on fucking fire. Because otherwise I just don't have time to just sit and bullshit. And neither does he.
During the day.
During the day.
Yeah,
during the day.
Like
we don't, and again, like if we travel, we'll usually like call or text at night, be like, hey, hope you're doing great. Or we'll just check in with each other at night once. And that's it.
Yeah.
We're busy. We're doing things.
Yeah. We, Thursday, I needed some help on this email stuff for this volunteer work that I do, and I didn't know how to do it, right? So I set it all up on my computer here. I went to work, and later in the day, I text Val, and I said, hey, when you get a minute, call me, no rush. So she calls me. She's go, hey, what's up? And I said, hey, on my computer, that, and I read through what I needed to accomplish. She's like, yeah, I can do that. Cool. You good? Yep. Love you. Bye. Click.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
But other than that, we see each other in the morning. I won't talk to her till 7, 8 at night.
Right.
And like you said, unless I'm fucking on fire, then I'll call her.
Right. Exactly.
And like when I'm during the day, I'll be working, whatever I'm doing. My phone rings. I look down. It's Val.
I drop everything.
Fuck, dude.
Everything. It's like, I'm sorry. I need to. I don't care what I'm in the middle of.
Yeah,
I need to take this because the only time he will call me or I will call him is if it is
to talk to
serious.
Me. Yeah.
Right. Otherwise, everything can wait.
But then there's
until later.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's those relationships where every fucking 20 minutes they're texting and
Yeah.
I just can't do that.
That wouldn't work for me either. I'd be like, you need to back up.
Back the fuck.
Yeah,
just,
that doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's never worked for me. I've always liked, I love spending time with him. We love spending time together, but we also have our own space and our own things and our own interests. And I think it's important.
I think you definitely have to have your own like hobbies and interests and stuff like that. Like Val has no reason to go to the gym. And I have no reason to go to the fucking belly dance class.
Right. But you guys have your own thing, and it's cool.
And she'll jump on her fucking bike over there and do like 75 miles and come home and be like, okay, what are we doing the rest of the day?
God
I'm
bless
like,
her.
fuck, God. I get tired driving 75 miles.
I swept the floor. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. So where's the next road trip? You said your road trip. Where are you going?
Road trip? We usually do a couple days in Hershey. It's tough. Right now he's going through some stuff with his folks also where they're in Tennessee and they have some medical things going on. So he's actually on his way now. He's doing a straight shot to Tennessee now to go help them out.
He was telling me about that last time we met.
Yeah, to help them out. So we really can't plan a lot at the moment because we're not sure what we need to keep open for them. So we do have a trip booked. My niece is getting married in New Orleans in November, and I am stoked about that trip. I'm so excited about that trip.
About New Orleans.
Oh yeah, it's a fun place. It's a fun town.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah. I was pre-Katrina. I was there.
Oh, okay.
And probably one of my favorite cities. Best food I've ever had in any city. Great culture, great people. But it's all my family's going to be down there, and we really aren't like the kind of family that vacation together as a big group. Ooh, I keep hitting stuff. So it's going to be really.
Keep Sharon quiet.
It's going to be.
Hold her hands.
So true. So it will be a lot of fun to have everybody down there, and I tacked on a couple days ahead and before and after the wedding, so we can check it out because he's not been yet, and I've always wanted to take him.
I've never been.
It's a fun town.
And so I was in Colorado and bouncing and doing security and doing all that. Every year, excuse me, every year my friends and I would take a week and ride motorcycles somewhere. We'd go all over the country. And one year they go, let's go to New Orleans. I'm like, nope. They're like, what?
It's a ride.
Fuck, dude. No, it ain't right. That's no big deal.
Okay.
The ride's no big deal. And they're like, what? And, that was my lifestyle. Like, my lifestyle at the time was New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Like, if you went to New Orleans, I've never been there,
right.
but the way people talk, I was like, nope, not going. They're like, why not? I said, because I'll fucking go down there, get talking to somebody, end up being a doorman. And 30 years later, I'm going to wake up and go, I'm still in fucking New Orleans.
Like, this is my future.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not even going to go fucking attempt it. So that's why I've not been to New Orleans.
It's a cool town. I just, I did the Bourbon Street thing once. Just so I could say I did.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, I was there. It wasn't even like Jazz Festival or Mardi Gras. And just the whole street just reeked of pee and vomit.
Fuck that.
It was disgusting. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? I
it was
walked
just like
down
a
it.
Thursday night.
It was like Tuesday morning. It just piss and barf. It was just, it was disgusting. So it's like, okay, so from now on, we'll just walk the block over. And we'll just avoid that because it was just disgusting. But it's a really cool city.
Well, I did, was it 6th Street in Austin?
Yes, I think it's 6th Street. Yeah, I think that's the
street?
big drag. Yeah, with all the bars and everything.
We were filming a show a couple years ago, and we finished on Halloween.
Oh, how fun!
And we spent Halloween on 6th Street.
That's awesome.
Holy fuck!
That's awesome.
Like there was like 3 or 4 of us, and of course it's just a fucking sea of people, right? They're like, I was like, all right, see that neon sign that says blues or whatever the fuck it says?
Yeah, it probably did. It's probably what it said. It's like,
probably,
play the odds.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, I go, all right, in 15 minutes we'll meet you. We'll be over there. So if we get fucking separated, just go over there, right? Because holy, that's fucking butt to nut.
Yeah.
It's crazy fucking.
Yeah, it's a fun city. I've only been once with my son, which was cool, like a couple of years ago. My brother.
You're talking Austin still, right?
Yeah, Austin.
Yeah, Austin's a
my
cool town.
brother lives outside of Houston, so I went to visit him, and I'm getting my picture taken. What's up, people? And
gotta keep up with social media.
That's right. You can't slack.
Holy shit.
So my brother's, I'm really tight with my brother, and so I said, I'd like to go out and visit my son, who's 3 hours away in Austin from Houston.
Right.
So my brother's like, well, which car do you want to take? I'm like,
The Lamborghini.
The Mustang convertible, the Hummer, the Porsche Carrera S.
The Hummer.
No, you know what? No, I'm kidding. I went with the Porsche Carrera S convertible. Right. So that was probably one of the best drives of my life. 3 hours just down Highway 10 out to Austin. And then my son and I kind of went bar hopping. And it was awesome. In Austin. Well, no, he drove. He's got a really sweet Challenger. And we're a car family, obviously.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're a car family.
Yeah.
Did you see that picture of that Cobra?
No, I haven't.
So I always thought, my theory is, like, say, the whole, you come into a shit ton of money and you don't ever have to worry about money.
Right.
You got money to spend, win the lottery bullshit thing, right? There's only 2 cars ever in the world that I would ever own.
Okay.
And this is one of them.
Okay. Gorgeous.
It's the original Shelby Cobra, and that's not a kit car. It's one of my customers.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
An original,
Gorgeous.
Oh, my God. I walked in. I was like, what the fuck? Holy shit. And then the other would be like I think it's it's either 76 or 78 Cadillac.
Oh, okay. All right, so mine's the 78 Trans Am is on my list.
And it's I lost my power. Hang on just one second.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good.
All right, now I can hear you. I lost you.
Oh, okay.
76 or 78 Caddy, black, blood red interior, convertible.
Beautiful.
Where the front seat's as big as my couch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's humongous.
You could put my car in the fucking trunk. One of those.
Easily.
Oh, my God, I'd fucking love one
Yeah,
of
they're
those.
boats.
Huh?
They're boats.
Yeah. Yep. Land yacht is what we used to call them. Yeah.
Land yacht, yeah.
How about you? Favorite car?
78 Trans Am is up there.
If money was no option, what car would you get?
Money was no option. I'm not really into the
76
exotics.
Trans Am, is that the
The 78 is the Smokey and the Bandit.
Smoking the
Trans Am.
Bandit one? Okay. I thought so.
I love the Austin Heelys. The what is that? A 3000, I think. They're gorgeous, and they're up there if you get them fully restored.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No kit car.
No.
Gotta have original. You like motorcycles too?
If I did not live in Jersey, I would like them more. Jersey, it's just too dangerous here.
Well, kind of north where we are, right?
Yeah,
so,
like if you go up to Sussex County, it's better, but then you got to worry about hitting deer and bear and shit.
Man, that's a given anywhere, right?
Yeah, but on a bike, you're not.
Even down south would be all right on a bike, but around here,
It's just too congested.
fuck.
Like my brother and I will go out on his his bike out in Texas, and it's awesome. I mean, the highways are like 8 lanes. It's 80 miles an hour. There's tons of space,
and the roads are in good condition.
and the roads are in great condition,
Yeah.
and they're all
Same
new.
with Colorado. Same
Yeah.
with Colorado.
Here it's just
Fuck.
yeah. I wouldn't do it here. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
I like having more metal around me.
Yeah. Well, you ever see? I saw this a lot when I rode all over the country on a bike, and I see it once in a while. But when I moved here, I saw it a lot. So when you're at a light, and then you have a motorcycle come up and like between the cars,
Yeah, in the middle.
Do you know why they do that?
No, I just assumed that it was
There's a real reason for that.
okay.
Because so many times they'll be behind you, like waiting for the light, just fucking like everybody else, right? Cars won't see them and fucking smash right
plow
into
into 'em. Okay.
So they get between the cars
All right,
for
that's smart.
safety. Yeah, and it's
smart.
legal.
Okay.
It's legal here in Jersey.
Oh, good.
So when you
makes
see
sense.
that, you kind of look at it and go, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?"
Yeah, no,
Right?
I figured there was a reason.
Yeah, but imagine that, just sitting there looking in
Yeah,
your
and you
rear
just get
view mirror and
smushed.
just fucking,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Yeah, it's just
There's so many, especially out. I mean, you can say this everywhere, but I see it so much out here. Just people don't fucking pay attention. And then you add the number of vehicles out here.
Yes.
That's the thing.
and
It's
that's
so congested.
It's just there's
so,
so
congested.
many
Yeah.
people.
Yep. Like my dad lives up in fucking northern Vermont.
Oh, okay.
I
There's
think-
like one person for every 5 square miles.
He could do a fucking K-turn in the highway and nobody.
No one would
and
care.
And if somebody came along, they'd just stop and wait.
Yeah,
for him
and
to
wait
do
for
it.
him. Right.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
yeah.
be like laying on the horn.
Yeah. Here, the fucking light.
Yeah, here it's what 1,000 people per square mile, if not more. I think.
Is that what it is?
Uh-huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we're I think the most densely populated state, and we've got a lot of places like you go up to Sussex County where there's
wide fucking-
acreage,
Yeah.
or down in South Jersey with the Pine Barrens, and it's wide open. But just when you get to the Edgewater and even out here in Montclair and Caldwell and everything, it's just very densely populated.
Yeah, yep. It just, what do they say? Jersey's biggest export is people.
Yeah.
I go, there's gotta be a lot of fucking people here because it never seems to go down. But then you get people like me that moved here.
That because I started commuting from in the 90s. I lived up in Sussex County when Eric and I moved in together, and I was working in Parsippany, so I had like a 50-mile commute one way down Route 15 to 80, and if I was lucky, it was an hour and a half one way. Because it was back in the time when you had to be at your desk at 8:30 a.m. and you could not leave your desk until 5 p.m.
Fuck, dude.
There was no telecommuting. There was no flex time. There was no working from home. It was, you have to be from here to here. So everybody got out at 5. Now, both of us, we had kids in daycare up in Sussex at 6 o'clock. So we would haul ass down 80 as fast as we could. And it was like, all right, whoever gets the kids first calls the other one so that they know to stand down. You don't have to rush.
Right,
because he was coming from, it was early 2000s. He was coming from Fairfield. I was in Parsippany, and they were out in like Sussex or, out in like a Packong area. And it just blew.
80's a fucking disaster at that time.
Yeah, but that was also a big contributor also why I went on my own 5 or so years ago. It's just I was so tired of, I did the math and I was like, shit, I've spent over the last 20 years, I've spent 6 months sitting on 80 when I figured out like 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
Okay, wait a minute though.
It's like 6 months.
Did you do that math in your car while you were sitting on 80?
I totally did. I totally was sitting
how
there.
long is this fucking minute?
At least I'll be productive. I'll calculate how much time I've wasted here as I am wasting time.
Holy shit.
And and so now it's like I don't schedule any appointments, especially if it's heading east.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
before 10 a.m. If it's northwest or south, I'll do
Yeah,
it
you
before
could get
10.
in there. Yeah, sure.
But and I won't. And if I have to head out east, I make sure I'm done at 2, so I can head back west because 80 starts backing up at 3 o'clock. 2:30, 3 o'clock. So
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I base my schedule around that, and it's great. I don't sit in traffic anymore,
Good for you.
and which I'm also glad because this latest car's a manual, so that would super blow.
cramp
That was
your
another
fucking-
reason why I never got a manual because I had
yeah.
to sit in traffic.
Yeah.
But now that I'm like, I don't have to do that anymore.
What
It's
What do
great.
they? What do they call that? Millennial anti-theft
Oh yeah,
device?
yeah, that's what they say.
Manual.
You know, I feel really bad for millennials. I really do. They get such a bad rap.
They do. They do.
and
there's nothing
who made
wrong.
them?
Exactly. No,
Who created them? The baby,
So-
the baby boomers, and then Gen Y or Gen X.
Well, you know who had a good comment about that? Our boy David Deutsch.
Oh, see, I don't know him that well.
What?
I don't know him that
Oh,
well.
my God.
I just see
You
him
need to
popping up on Facebook,
Oh
but I
my
don't.
God.
We're
You-
not connected.
Holy fuck! You guys need to sit down.
But
and
he's
just,
the comments I've seen
he's
are
fucking
hilarious.
brutal.
Yeah.
The dude, and that's like 5% of what's going on in his head. It's fucking.
Oh, so then I do need to meet him.
Yeah. So the joke I have with him is like when we meet for lunch or just meet to hang out and stuff, I just have to walk away. And it's not a bad thing. He knows it because it'll be 6 hours later and we're
Oh,
still sitting
okay.
here talking.
Right.
I'm like, Dave, I gotta fucking go.
Like, I
he's
have
like,
things.
He's like, okay, I'll see you later. I'm like, fuck, goddamn, I want to sit here and bullshit with.
Right.
And you know he's fluent in Mandarin.
Oh, that's cool.
How about that, right?
That's very cool.
And I'll quote him so my fucking comments don't become a dumpster fire. Is, he's a big fucking Jew that speaks Mandarin.
Wow.
And he says it. He goes, I'm a big white Jew that speaks Mandarin. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever.
No, that's awesome. I've always wanted to be able to speak a language that, like, if you look at me, I look so Austrian and Eastern European. Like,
Yeah,
if I
yeah.
started busting out in Polish, no one would be surprised.
Right.
But like Mandarin or Russian or something like
Yeah,
that, or
yeah.
Japanese, that would be
See,
awesome.
I think you'd have to Russian.
Yeah, Russian would be the same problem for
Yeah,
me.
they'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
she
they'd be like,
speaks
all right.
Russian.
Yeah, look at her. Not surprising.
Yeah. Let me see. What would you? Man, you'd have to go something crazy. I mean, even Spanish wouldn't be.
Yeah, or like Swahili or something.
Yeah. Latin.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Old school. People like
Start talking in
she
tongues
doesn't.
and shit.
She doesn't look like the Pope. What's that?
That's fucking great. But you remember, we took my wife and I took a convertible Camaro down
Right.
the.
Yeah, that's
PCH.
a dream trip of mine. I've got that almost all mapped out. Is
Okay.
my road trip of 80 down the PCH down to 10 and back up.
Now you have to go south.
Okay, yes, because
So
that'll
you're
make you on the
outside.
coast. Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
going north,
If you're going north, you're on the inner lane.
and go off season.
Right.
If you
Which
go,
when's off season for that?
like we usually do it in like November, December.
Okay.
It's cold,
Right.
so you got to put a fucking sweater on.
Yeah, that's
But
bullshit. Sweater and a convertible. What's that about?
You don't
Cali.
have to put a sweater on. But the thing is, you go during the busy season, you're just in a fucking snake of traffic.
Oh, well, yeah, screw that.
You know,
Okay.
What good is that?
Yeah.
That kind of takes away from the experience.
Totally. Yeah.
Because now you're
Now you're sitting in traffic in a convertible in the freezing cold on the
well
PCH.
during busy time it'll be hot. So now you're sitting in the fucking
Oh, well, yeah, right.
sun
Yeah.
in a convertible,
baking.
not moving. You're like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
this is
fucking
fun. I'm glad I came out here for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay, that's
that
good to
was
know.
Such a fucking good time.
Yeah.
And I landed, and I was to pick Val up, right? And online I could only reserve a Mustang.
Okay.
So I walk in and
Mustangs suck.
well, that's the only
Hear
thing I
that,
could-
Don? They suck.
Yeah, well, I'm not a Ford fan either. But I walk in and I said, hey, I'm here to pick up my car. And she goes, do you want to upgrade? And I'm like,
Upgrade.
what's an upgrade? What will be considered an upgrade? She's like, well, we have a Camaro and a Corvette.
See, Corvette's on my list too.
But it wouldn't
Because
work.
I can pull it off.
You
Because
could pull it off.
Because I'm not a middle-aged dude.
Yes, that,
Yeah.
point. But if my wife and I are in there,
Nope.
no,
Nope.
good point. I thought it halfway through that, I was like, no, that ain't
Nope.
going to work.
Still won't work.
And I said, well, that's not going to work because I need the back seat because we're going to have her mom and
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and the
and our
Camaro. I mean,
luggage and shit like that, right?
Camaro definitely has more of a backseat than a Corvette, but it's negligible. It's useless.
Totally useless.
Completely
Yeah,
useless.
yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't even hold my fucking carry-on bag.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
pretty useless.
Especially in a convertible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I was like, I'll take the Camaro. And I said, what's the difference between the Mustang and the Camaro? She goes, well, the Camaro's new, and it's the SS version.
Oh, it's the SS. Okay.
And I was like,
All right.
I'll
So you
take
got the
that.
8-cylinder instead of the 6.
And I said, I'll take it. And she goes, white or yellow? And I go, do you really have to ask me that? She's like, all right. And she did all the paperwork.
And she gave you yellow. You wanted white?
Yeah, right.
You're like, son of a bitch, she did have to ask me that. God damn it.
And so in San Diego, the car rental places are fucking huge parking lots, like multi-level, and it looks like a mall, right? And she's like, yeah, 3rd floor, da-da-da-da-da. Here's your parking, gives you directions. And so I walk around the corner, and there's 2 Mustangs, 2 Camaros, and 2 Corvettes. And I was like, just the Camaro just looked looks powerful compared to the other ones.
Right.
The Corvette's got its own look.
It does.
Right, but
it does. But it's not
Camaro
muscle car look.
No, yeah, the Camaro, I was just like, oh, fuck, I'm so happy I took the
Yeah, it's a
fucking
badass
Camaro.
car.
So I get in it, and there's no key, right? You just hit the fucking thing.
Oh, you seen mine? Mine are still key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So hit the button and fucking, rumbling. I was like,
Yeah, that
And
is very important to me.
And I shut it off, and I was like, started again. I'm like, and I shut off. I did it again, and the attendant comes over and looks at me, and I'm like, dude.
You're like,
He's
I'm
like, I
sorry.
don't blame you, man. He goes, I don't blame you.
He said, you just keep going.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to make sure everything's right. And I'm
Right.
like, yeah. What really stood out was how small the steering wheel was.
So yeah, it must have been a newer model than what
Yeah.
I drive
Okay.
if it had the push button. Because my last one was a 2012 and this one's a 13.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what year it was.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, it had like.
Yeah, it was probably like the 17.
It had 1,100 miles on it. So, I mean, still had that new car smell and all that, right? And that was so much fun to drive, but it's completely fucking useless other than just for a sports car.
Oh, totally.
Completely
Completely impractical.
Oh, my God. I was like, this thing, I can't.
Yeah.
And even me getting in and out of it, I needed a
it's
fucking
tight.
shoehorn.
Well, and also the 17s, this 2016 17s, they're on, trying to remember when they started, because at one point, it might have been for 17 or 18, they put it on the Cadillac ATS chassis.
Okay.
Which is smaller, it's narrower than the previous.
The previous?
So they're even tighter. So yeah,
my
if you're,
God,
if you got any kind of shoulders on you,
Oh,
forget
no.
it.
My shoulders were going over in Vale seat.
Yeah,
You
were encroaching.
Yeah. And, but man, that thing was fucking amazing. And Nick has one.
No, not anymore.
Did he get rid of it?
He got rid of it and he gave me his cold air intake, which is now in my car.
No shit. Yeah. Because seeing him get in that fucking thing, I'm like, God
well,
damn.
you know,
dude.
and it's funny.
Well, he had a fucking Mini Cooper before that.
And that's what I was about to say. It's very funny because I first met him when Val did that concert at the brewery in Fairfield.
Oh yeah,
with Ridiculous, which I think is the best band name ever.
Oh, her and her buddy Steve.
Yeah.
The bagpipes and
her clarinet and whatever.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we went.
I got fucked up that night.
Yeah, you were pretty fucked up that night. So we went, and I was sitting there talking with Ash and Val wasn't there because she was playing, but a couple other people, and Nick was there, and it was the first time I had ever met him. And I don't know, we just kind of started busting each other's balls right out of the gate.
What?
Like
Really?
total. I know, right? Shocking. It's out of character. And so he started making fun of my height, which is like, dude.
He's 7 foot tall. Man,
well, first of all, I'm 40 years old. Do you think this is the first time anyone has ever made fun of my height? I'm like, you are. I'm like, really? I'm like, that's what you're going to?
You?
I'm like, that is lazy comedy. You are lazy.
Oh, lazy comedy.
So we were just busting each other's balls, and finally, I was kind of at this mindset. Then I found out that he had the Mini Cooper, and that was just great because that was just complete. Just material for me to work with. Oh my God,
yeah, because look at him.
Because I'm like, it's like a clown car for you.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, you know what? I'm just this guy. I'm like, I'm never going to see this guy again. So it doesn't fucking matter. I can just bust his balls, and I don't have to because when you're at networking things, you try to be in good behavior because you never know. I'm like, fuck it. I don't even care. I don't
miss that shit at all.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck it. I don't even care. I'm just gonna go. I'm going hardcore. I'm not looking back. Yeah, it turns out that he becomes like a client of Eric's, and now we're friends with him.
No shit.
Like,
Yeah.
shit. He gave me his cold air intake. He's an awesome dude.
He's an awesome
Awesome
dude. I
dude.
love that guy to death. Man.
And his employees are awesome. And just, he's doing such a great thing. And it was just like, wow, I really screwed that whole like, oh, I'm never going to see this guy again. Totally wrong, Sharon.
Yeah. No, I put him in the good old boy class.
Yeah.
He's a good old boy. He's a country good old boy.
Oh, yeah, his background.
Yeah. And,
which is
and
awesome
the way he
because
lives,
he knows
and the way,
how to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like he can fix things. He can do things.
Yeah. And he's not afraid. There's no analysis paralysis with that dude.
Yeah, he just goes.
He just fucking gets after it.
Yeah, and that's awesome
Yeah,
because a lot of people do struggle with that. But yeah, I just leave seeing the pictures of like him horseback riding with his girls and everything.
Yeah.
It's awesome. He's a great dad. He's a great guy. But it was just so funny. Like first impressions are meaningless because here I thought that night I'm like, oh fuck this guy, and then I'm like, he's actually a really great guy.
And he was probably pretty fucked up at the time.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was
you know what? I'm
up.
really bad gauge at that. Unless somebody is like stumbling and slurring, I can't usually tell. Like
Yeah,
most people are pretty good about holding their liquor.
Him and I got fucked up that night.
But no, he's an awesome dude.
Speaking of that, in 2 months, it'll be 2 years. I haven't had a drink.
Nice. Good for you.
Did you know that?
That's awesome. Not formally.
Yeah.
Informally.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Almost 2 years. Don't miss it a bit.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah,
Good.
fuck it.
Yeah. That's
all
good.
Yeah. Photography. How'd you get into that?
I had it as a hobby for a while since I was in like middle school, I guess. And then
We're taking pictures of flowers and shit.
oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Flowers, squirrels, all that shit. And then
I'm gonna make a living.
I'm
gonna make a living. No
point did I ever. At no point did I ever think that my blurry squirrel pictures were gonna make me a fortune.
It's abstract art.
That's right. That's right. It's through the artist's eye. There is no wrong in art, bitches. Wow. So
I'm gonna throw that. Eventually, that's gonna come back on you. I'm gonna use that against you one day.
I'm sure of it because everything. I know you mentally record everything to just throw it back in somebody's face.
Karma has a return address.
It does.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, you asked me a question. So I got into it, just was tired of doing the corporate thing and making dick money with, working super hard.
Yeah.
And I realized that, I kind of sat down and did math. And, if you're a superstar, they're giving out 2.5% increases. If you're a superstar, busting your butt, 10, 14-hour days, that kind of thing.
Cost of living's 3.5.
Well, I sat and did the math, and I was like, all right, so in 10 years, I might be making $4,000 more than I am right now, and that's if my cost of living and benefits don't change. And that was terrifying to me. That was scarier to me than quitting that steady paycheck and going off on my own. I'm like, well, shit, if I'm going to be poor, I'm going to be poor working for myself, not somebody else.
Sure.
And so I just kind of sat down and made a list of all the things that, assets that I had, like experience, contacts, networks, all of that. And then the list of the things I hated doing, things I loved to do, how did I want to spend my day? And I saw that, I was in the real estate industry for 20 years and the pictures out there were terrible. And I had all these contacts in the industry. So I'm like, let me see if I can make this work. Let me see if I can make something out of this.
Sure.
And the beginning was not disastrous because I had the contacts and they all knew me well enough that they trusted me. I had never used a DSLR camera. I had never used Photoshop. I had never used Lightroom. Yeah.
Beautiful pictures.
And that's how, I can't even look at them. I cringe and I want to shoot myself in the head when I look at my early work.
But let's hold up on that for a second. But going back to analysis paralysis, and I can use this podcast as an example and some other things, and everybody has their own. Why spend all that time trying to figure it out? Just fucking get in and do it. Figure it out and check your ego and be like, I'm going to fuck this up. I'm going to get, quote unquote, punched in the face a lot, but I'm just going to keep fucking going, and eventually it's going to work out really well.
Totally. And that's
I think people fear that first part.
Yeah. And that's also me. Once I have made a decision on something, I just do it.
Same here.
I just do it. And if it sucks, I can change course or I can always do something after, to alleviate or change direction. But so with this, it was I quit and then I started doing that, and it was like a lot of nights crying in front of Photoshop because I know what I want to do and I know what I need to do, but I don't know. What do you mean mask? What do you mean mask?
There's a how-to YouTube.
Exactly.
For that.
So there was a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Learned a ton from YouTube. Joined some Facebook groups for real estate photographers that really were helpful, and I learned a lot from.
Good.
And it was just so much of my life. Everything is baptism by fire. It's like, okay,
Absolutely.
I guess I'm figuring this out now. Okay, guess I'm doing this. Like, and then play the hand that's dealt. Like, this is my hand. All right, I'm going to figure this out.
Yep.
And,
I'm a big fan of that, too.
Yeah, me too. It's the only way for me to learn, because I can sit and read a book about something or sit in a class and I want to hang myself. But if I don't have a practical application for it right then, forget it. I'm never going to retain it.
Well, that too.
I have to need that information right now in order for me to absorb it.
Yeah. And that's how I learned. Like in my new job, it's very uncommon for somebody to come from the outside and get put in a position that I am in my new job.
Okay.
Right? So now I had to go through all this crazy training. I was just fucking skipping through this shit because I know I'm not going to retain it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next page.
So then I get into physically hands-on, snap. Learning curve, straight fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even have a curve at that point. And same way. I pick up information so much better just fucking doing it.
Like if I need to know something, then I'll go find what I need to know, and then I'll retain it forever.
Or I'll touch the stove 25 times and be like, "Fuck, that's hot. I shouldn't touch that again."
I really need to stop doing that. I am so stupid.
I still don't think that's hot.
Still have it.
Fuck it, damn.
And maybe you might want to read a book on that, because that's kind of stupid.
No, fuck that. YouTube. I'll see it.
Oh yeah, YouTube up hot stove. Google hot stove. Should I touch it?
Should I touch a hot stove?
Should I lick a hot stove?
So, speaking of hot stove,
right.
A guest recently we were talking about Einstein.
Okay.
Because we got talking about that post I put up, who would you sit on a bench with for an hour?
Right.
Do you remember that?
I do.
I think did you respond to that?
I think I did. I'm trying to remember what I said.
He said Einstein.
Okay.
And he quoted Einstein because the whole trying to, in layman's terms, put time, like how to, explain relativity and all that kind of shit.
Well,
right?
time, it's because time is just a human construct. But anyway,
right. And he goes, I'm gonna butcher it. He butchered it. I don't know. I was gonna look it up, and I had fucking time, whatever. But this makes total sense to me, and it reminded me because we said hot stove. And he says, Einstein said, you put your hand on a hot stove, a minute feels like an hour. Mm-hmm. You sit next to a pretty girl, an hour feels like a minute.
Right.
And I was like, my head fucking exploded. I'm
right.
Like, that totally makes sense to me now. But if you said Y equals Z and all that.
But everything is relative and everything's perspective.
Absolutely.
Everything is.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, which then brings you to the whole Matrix kind of thing. Like, is anything real? Because there's no truth. Everything is colored from the eyes of who's viewing it.
Absolutely. And it's upside down.
And it's all.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I know everything. Like, and our brain flips it over.
Yeah. I don't know. It's first world problems.
Yes,
I was trying to collect my thoughts there. It's first world problems because they, what about this? What about this? That's where zero fucks come in. Do I fuck? We're on a rock.
Yeah. Hurtling through space. And I am a meat skeleton.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I love that fucking.
I do.
God,
because it is total perspective of just
we're a meat skeleton hurtling through space. What the fuck do you have to worry about?
Right. Like, this is all pretty damn amazing. What's going on right here?
If you look at the big picture, and I'm a big fan of the universe. No pun intended. Big fan of the universe? Big? No?
No.
That didn't work?
No.
No, okay. No. Anyway.
Let it go.
But I love the universe. I think that's it's crazy. Like, I can't even comprehend I don't think anybody can comprehend how fucking actually big it is and everything going on.
Yeah.
So, this is my universe. Mm-hmm. Right? So, everybody has their own little universe. Just deal with what you got. Mm-hmm. The shit going back to the shit on Facebook, they're talking about, I don't want to get into politics, but just all sorts of crazy things. It's like me talking about if the sun's going to come up tomorrow and making it, debating it.
Right.
Are you, what?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you ain't gonna know about it.
Right. Right.
You know?
It's not going to be you got bigger problems if it doesn't.
Yeah, and if you think that fucking 4.5 paragraph thing that you put about Trump or some other social thing that's going on, that you took 4.5, or, I'm sorry, I meant to say paragraphs, but it took you an hour to type up.
And everybody's just going to keep on scrolling.
Nobody fucking reads that. Maybe one
Yeah,
person
a
or two.
handful
Maybe.
but
the other thing too is, if that's what interests you.
well, and that's the flip side. It's like
Right.
I don't choose to post that on my page, and I also don't choose to read that on others. But if somebody wants to do that on theirs, they're totally allowed to,
Absolutely.
and
that's
able to.
The whole fucking freedom of expression,
Well,
right?
well, and thank you for saying freedom of expression and not freedom of speech, because that is such a bugaboo for me.
Well, the thing is, though,
People saying, "Well, I can say what I want. I have freedom of speech." No, freedom of speech keeps you from being arrested for saying what you want, but it does not free you from the consequences of everybody thinking you're an asshole for what you said.
that's very well done, very well said, right? If you walk down the street and saying
you're just
all that shit,
screaming all sorts of horrible words and slurs at people,
and then somebody says something, shut the fuck up. That's my freedom of speech. No, man. See, that's where like kind of the social laws come in,
right?
At that point,
yeah, no,
right?
yes, sure. You're not going to get arrested for doing that, and it boils down to like if you say something against your president or your administration, you can't get arrested for saying that. Whereas in other countries, you can. They don't have
Right,
freedom of speech
right.
on the books. So if you say something against our overlord,
He's a dick. Next thing you know, they're kicking
Kim Jong, then
Yeah,
they're coming and taking your family.
Right.
That's not going to happen necessarily in this country unless it's like terroristic threats or things like that,
Sure,
which
sure.
was one of those things that happened post 9/11. But it does not release you from the consequences of everybody thinking you're an asshole either.
Yeah, but no, I agree with that. I mean, it's etiquette, social law, right? Mm-hmm. But social law is a very thin veil on how truly animalistic we are.
Yes. Yes, it's an imposed set of rules that,
In the example,
it's a very fine line.
Right, and I've been saying that for years. And then, God, was a couple weeks ago the power went out in New York City?
Mm-hmm, right.
Within like 10 minutes, the local Duane Reade, Walgreens, whatever it may be, was getting fucking looted.
Oh, really? Was there looting?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about
And I'm like-
that after the fact.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, and what's also interesting, though, is because shortly after 9/11, I would say in like 2003 or 4, there was a massive blackout in the city.
When? Sorry.
In like 03, 04,
Okay.
I would say. Maybe even as late as 05, but I don't think so.
I don't remember
And
those years, so.
everything was fine. There was no problem. There was no looting. There were no riots. There was nothing. Everybody just like sat in the streets and chilled and like played music, and everybody hung out. And it was cool because I think everybody was still on that post 9/11 high of we're all in this together and we're all, we're all a team.
Well, yeah,
but now it's not like that anymore.
No.
It's been too long. It's been almost 20 years.
Yeah, but when I believe, though, when disasters happen, like a snowstorm,
Hurricane.
9/11, hurricane, us as human beings come together. Like we
For the most
forget
part,
our
people pulled together.
for the majority of people.
Right.
The problem that I have is the very small amount of people that make a lot of quote unquote noise, right? Looting and doing all
Yeah.
that shit. That gets the most spotlight,
It does.
right? So
Totally.
now
Because that
you
makes
think-
ratings.
Right, sells advertisement. Yeah, we can
And
get
that's
into that.
exactly
That's all they care
That's
about.
all it cares about is the bottom line.
But the thing is, that's such a small part of it.
It is.
But then when we watch it or hear about it on social media, we think that's the majority part of it. Right? To where the majority part of it is people handing out water bottles, people fucking
Yeah.
loaning all their stuff and working 20
Totally.
hours a week or 20 hours
people,
a day to help
sharing their
people.
generators and
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think humans is overall are good.
good and decent. I
Right.
agree. I totally agree. And you kind of see. I think people see what. Sometimes people see what they want to see. Sometimes people see. For instance, we have family that's in law enforcement. And we would mention that we were going to Baltimore. We love Inner Harbor area. It's a really
yeah.
cool
Ooh,
spot.
Baltimore.
And we mentioned we're going to Baltimore. They're like, what? No, you can't go there. Why would you go there? We're like, because Inner Harbor is really nice. They've got great restaurants. They've got paddle boats. It's just a cool vibe. It's a cool place.
You might get robbed.
He's like, no, because he's in law enforcement, and that's what he sees all day long. He sees the garbage of society. Sometimes he sees great people that just need help, but more often than not, he's just seeing terrible people in society. So in his worldview, there's a lot of terrible people in society because that's what he sees. I keep hitting this. Oh my God.
That's all right. That's all right. You really can't hear it on the
okay, good.
The other thing, so don't worry.
But that's his view sometimes because it's colored by what he sees all day.
Right,
I'm very lucky in that.
Well, you see nice people.
My job, I meet the best people. I meet people that are just, I'm in their homes. I see how they live. Everybody lives the same. And that's one of the that's what I really get an insight into how people live from all different backgrounds and cultures and economic backgrounds and everything. And everyone pretty much lives the same. And just a lot of really awesome people all day long.
Yeah. So when you and him get together and talk, his view is a little different than yours. So.
Right. And I'm sure there's, and I'm sure it falls somewhere in between how the reality
absolutely, yeah.
Relative reality. It falls somewhere in between.
Yeah, but it's the whole yin and yang thing, right? There has to be balance in the universe.
Right.
Hands down.
Yes.
Everybody
Without
can't
it,
be
everything.
No, everybody can't be kumbaya and singing fucking everything's great. Can't be. Never will be.
No.
Absolutely will never be.
Because life, there's always going to be pain in life.
Look at Mother Nature. Mother Nature's fucking... She's evil.
Yeah,
evil.
There's always destruction, and there's also birth.
Good and bad,
growth.
right? Yeah, absolutely. You got a story, you said. You got a story?
I could tell a story.
Oh, I like stories.
I can tell a story of my first date with my husband.
Oh, boom. Did you put out?
Well,
did I just spoil it? Did I just
you know what? Forget the story, everybody. Walt seems to know better. So he was living and working up in Sussex County at a campground. He was doing maintenance, kind of help running it. And we were going on our first official date. We had been friends for years, but this was kind of our first official date.
Now, how did you get to that point? You're like, hey, you want to go on a date? Like what was the communication to that?
It was, we had both broken up with our significant others by that point, and through our friendship, we'd always kind of wondered, like, hey, would this work?
Right.
But the timing was never good.
Okay.
I was with somebody or he was with somebody, and then we had both, again, broken it off with who we were dating at the time, and it was like, well, hey, you know what? I want to give this a shot. And I remember saying, like, I don't want to be in my 40s one day looking back wondering what if.
Yep.
So let's give it a try. We're either going to be great or we're going to kill each other. But either way, I want to know. We need to know.
I heard a quote today said, I'd rather fail 100 times than say what if once.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. So we decided to go on a date. It was in November. It was like early November. In Sussex County, it's colder up there. And the campground was on a mountain. It was intended to be a quarry. So it's on a mountain. So cold spot, right?
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to go out, and I drove up to his place to meet him, and he was going to take me to a restaurant near his house. And he's like, all right. He said, well, before I go, I just got to feed the goats. They had a pen with some goats in them. It's like, okay. So I drove over that section of the campground with him to feed the goats. And now at this point, the campground's closed. It's really just him living on site, and maybe a handful of other campers that stay all year round. Okay. But otherwise, it's closed. And so he goes into the pen and he feeds the goats and everything, and he comes back to the car and he's like, well, listen, I'm really sorry to do this, but I have to take care of something before we go. He said, I fed the goats and one of them didn't come up to the trough, and that's not a good thing. So I went and checked on him, and he's dead. The poor brownie goat is dead. He said, I need to take care of this because otherwise it will attract bear and wild animal and everything. So if you want to hang out at my place, that's cool. If you want to hang out in the car, whatever. I'm like, well, if I help you, want to go faster? And he's like, yeah. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll help you. So we load up, the campground had this old Jeep Comanche. It was,
nice.
Yeah, it was beat on, but it was a fun little truck.
Yeah.
So we threw a bunch of shovels in the back and a wrecking bar, and he picks, a tarp. He gets the goat, and he carries this goat and puts it in the bed of the truck. And then we drive up the mountain into the woods, like back into the woods, because you're not going to go and bury a goat where there's a bunch of like people that camp.
Sure.
So it's in the woods. Now, if I had not known him for like by this point 5 or 6 years,
You'd be like,
I'd be like,
fucking going.
this dude's making me dig my own fucking grave. Like, this is how it's all going to end. This is it. But,
and I'm okay with it.
and you know what? It is what it is. So we go up there, and now we're using the wrecking bar, and we're just digging. And I mean, it's winter, it's cold, it's rock. We're not getting very far, but we're still going by, just taking turns by the headlamps of this Jeep in the middle of the woods, pitch black, really
that's
cold,
a movie scene
with a dead goat in the back.
Oh,
poor Brownie, rest in peace.
That's her
And
name, Brownie?
it was its name. Brownie was its
okay.
name. And so we're just digging. And finally, we just dig as much as we can. And it's not the deepest hole, it's not the biggest hole, but it's the best one we've got. So he's like, I'm going to need you to cover your ears and turn around. I'm like, why? He's like, because he's not going to fit. So I need to break his legs. So I'm like,
wait a minute, though. When he said cover your ears and turn around, you're like, this is it. I'm gonna fucking.
I'm like, this is it. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Hey, Mom, I'm coming.
I'm coming. So I'm like, well, why don't you just like put him on his back and bury him, and then we can just like make a table out of him. And he's like, yeah,
beautiful,
like,
beautiful. Love your
like,
humor.
He's like, yeah, it's not okay. Then he's like, the bear will find him. I'm like, okay, fine, do what you got to do. So he takes care of that. And we cover them up, and then we go to dinner. And
What'd you have for dinner?
You know what? Neither of us can remember where we went or what we had. I honestly have no recollection at all.
That is fucking amazing.
So, ladies, anybody that's listening, if your date says, "Hey, want to bury a goat," it could be that you're about to dig your own grave, and he's going to murder your ass. Or there could be a dead goat. There could be a dead animal involved, and he could be a great guy.
So that was 23 years ago.
That was 23 years ago, and I think he has said that night was when he's like, no, that he knew that he was going to marry me.
Oh yeah, if somebody helps you bury a goat. But here's a question though. That's a fucking amazing story. See, this
Our first date.
I tell you what.
And bury a goat on your first date, not a euphemism. We actually buried a fucking
that is
goat.
not. That's awesome.
Not a euphemism.
It is a euphemism. It is.
It could be.
It could
but
be.
In this
your
case,
case, it was true. Now, if you didn't know him, how do you think that would have went down? You would have waited at the campground?
if I didn't know him, that's an excellent question. If I didn't know,
or
I
knew
would
him for like a week, and then you're like, hey, okay, let's go on a date. Like I met Val on a Thursday. We went out on a Saturday.
Okay.
Right. So
Right. So if I met him on a Thursday and we went out on a Saturday and he's like, my goat's dead.
and we're gonna go
I
bury
need to
this
go
goat,
bury
and we're gonna
this
go
thing.
drive out in the fucking country.
Yeah, in like the deep woods where there's no lights, no people for miles, nothing. I would have probably pooped myself.
You can say shit.
And
because I know you know how to
and
swear.
never.
Nobody's listening.
Why you got to be like that a lot?
That's a tough one.
I probably still would have, because that's just kind of my nature. It's just
Sure.
I'm sitting here. I might as well be doing something productive. I might as well be helping. I'm not just a person that just kind of sits there. But I would have been scared as fuck.
Fuck yeah.
And I probably would have. I mean, because I always keep some kind of weapon on me in my purse or something.
Right,
I would
right.
have probably had that on me.
Yeah, but then like you're barely hanging on. Say, you know, you met him on Thursday, you go out do that on Saturday. Then you're up in the woods like that. You just buried this fucking goat. Quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
You dug this hole.
Right.
And now he's like, turn around and close your ears. Fuck you.
I'd be like, no, I'm good. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that goat is dead.
I want to make sure, right. What a great fucking story.
Yeah, so that was our
awesome.
first date, and but again, like we had already known each other, and we were really good friends for the 5 years or so
Yeah, yeah. But
before
still,
that.
though,
So it worked out.
that
But
is
yeah, so that's
cool.
our first date story.
Awesome.
Buried a dead animal.
I got to ask you about your Ouija board there.
Oh, okay.
Are you big into the...
I like the graphic design of it more than the actual occult aspect of it.
'cause
I love when you look at, and you can go online and look on Pinterest or whatnot, of any of the old graphic design of the occult. and it's really cool. Or like sideshow carnival art is really cool
super
to me.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't stand the Ouija board though.
Oh, you're scared of it?
Oh, we had some shit happen when I was young.
What happened?
Yeah, we actually had to move.
Okay, who showed up? Huh? Did they give you their name?
No. What? It was me and some buddies. We're in the house and
bunch of guys playing with a Ouija board.
We're like fucking 9 or something.
Okay.
Right.
I was gonna say that's a little.
Girls don't come over when you're 9.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Or 19 or 29 even.
Well, 11. And we're like, asking questions and it's moving, right? And we're like, hey, you're fucking moving.
Who's pushing it? Which one of you
right?
jerks is pushing it?
And nobody was touching it. And it spun and flew off the board.
Wow.
And I fucking went running out.
You're like, I'm done. I'm out.
I said, burn that motherfucker. I don't ever want to see it again. And then I was sick. Oh, God, what the fuck? I was pretty young. And I was on the couch in my parents' house. Of course, I'm living at my parents' house. And we had a wood stove. And that's how we heated the house.
Okay.
And our house wasn't, it was smaller than this apartment, right? And the way the couch was, the wood stove was behind me. Like, not behind the couch, but like behind my head. Like my head's on the armrest of the couch and the wood stove's behind my head.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I thought I heard something. So I turned and I'm looking at the stove. And I heard the door open, felt the heat of the fire, heard a log been thrown on it, and heard the door shut. And the door never fucking opened.
Wow. Okay.
Those are my 2 ghost stories.
Right.
Because I believe in ghosts. I think ghosts are 1,000% real.
I think along those lines,
your energy has
exactly.
to go somewhere.
Everything is energy in this
Absolutely.
universe.
Absolutely.
Everything.
We have like a bazillion nuclear explosions happening in us all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
So I agree. I have one solid ghost story, I guess. But it's not like I saw a ghost, like, augmented reality, like I'm looking at this room and, oh, there's a ghost.
Were you taking pictures and shit? Have you ever seen one in your camera? Like something weird in your camera and be like, what the fuck is that?
No, I have not had that happen. I have been in houses where I walk into the room and it's I need to get out of this right now. I have to get out. And then I do a ton of research. I love researching everything. And then I'll find newspaper articles and lo and behold, somebody bad shit went down. Somebody killed themselves in that room or some bad shit went down. But no, it was in the 90s. I was doing that commute, like I mentioned, from Sussex to Parsippany, and I was exhausted. I was raising kids and it was brutal. And I was taking classes at Montclair at night after work, one or 2 nights a week.
The university right up here? Okay.
Yeah. So it was a long day. I'm like leaving the house at 6 in the morning, working all day, then driving out to Montclair at night, and then sitting in a classroom until 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then driving back up to Sussex County. Ooh. So those days were really long. So I was exhausted. And which is probably the title of my book from my 20s and 30s. I'm exhausted because I'm finally catching up on my sleep now.
I bet
from my 20s and 30s. Yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm on 46. I'm in this Saturn that I bought brand new all by myself that I was super proud of, but man, was it a ginormous piece of shit.
It was a throwaway car.
It was if I was older and wiser, I would have traded that back in under lemon law because it had, from the day I bought it, nothing but problems.
Well, that was the whole thing of the company, was a throwaway car.
Oh, it was like disposable car?
Yeah, it was like, we're going to make these super cheap for people to buy, but they're not going to be, when they're not going to be fixable. Mm-hmm. When they break down, just fucking throw it away and buy
mine broke from like the day
that's why they're not
the day I had it.
Well, that's why they're not around.
Yeah.
But.
So I'm on 46. I'm in, I guess, what is that? Not Totowa. It's probably like Pine Brook where that Wendy's is. Mm-hmm. And traffic's moving pretty good that night. I'm doing probably about 55, 60. I'm in the left lane on 46. And I fall asleep. I am out. I am asleep in the left lane doing about 55. And like if you close your eyes right now, picture a face, like somebody like a dead relative or just, or a relative, anybody. Like you just close your eyes and like just picture their face. I saw my grandfather, who had died maybe 2 years prior.
Wake the fuck up.
I saw him and he goes, "Wake up!" I never heard him speak angrily or ferociously ever. I can still picture his face to this day. It was a vehement, ferocious look on his face. And he said, "Wake up." And I woke up and my feet just went, both feet on the brake to the floor. I thought it was going to break off the brake.
Yeah.
And I just see the bumper of the car in front of me just coming up towards me at lightning speed. I stopped with maybe an inch to spare between my car and theirs. So while it's not a traditional ghost story, there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that my grandfather saved my life that day.
Oh, that's awesome.
No doubt.
Yeah. We have to be connected. What is it? Buddhism. Mm-hmm. That everything's connected, right? It's like a net. Mm-hmm. Especially like family and stuff. Like I'm connected pretty
blood
tight.
And all that.
What's that?
Yeah, blood or even just people that you have a kinship with.
Like my mom, like she's been sick for a while. And every once in a while, and when it first started happening, I'm like, what the fuck? But like Val came home one night and I was like curled up on the couch, like bummed out and like just feeling weird and doing all this shit. It's like, what the fuck's the matter with me? Come to find out, my mom was having a super bad day with her sickness and stuff.
Okay.
And then every once in a while now, I'll just be like, get a weird feeling. I call my mom. How you feeling? I'm not doing very good today.
Yeah, so you guys are just connected.
So there has to be some kind of, connection of that sort. Mm-hmm. And I believe, too, like when we die, now you're just a fucking pile of meat. So people are like, sure, you have your religious beliefs and doing all that. But me personally, I think that a cemetery is a waste of fucking space.
I am right there with you. I think it's so selfish.
Oh my God.
It's like, who the hell am I to take up that corner of the planet for the eternity?
For eternity, yeah.
Who am I to do that?
Yeah.
But
again,
on the flip side to that, I do a ton of genealogy for my family. And when I find my great-great-grandfather's grave in Baltimore of people that never even knew this man existed, and I actually go and see his name and be standing right where he is, it's amazing. So I'm very torn on it.
Right.
I really am.
But the other thing too is that whole thing with cemeteries and stuff, we're looking at it in today's eyes. Mm-hmm. 200 years ago, we don't know, that was what it was. That's what you do. You fucking put them in the ground.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and also, but 200 years ago, it wasn't the $9,000 casket made of fiberglass. It was a pine box.
That's true. That's true. And then you ever hear those, because you know that when a casket gets put in, it's not the casket nowadays. The casket doesn't go in the ground.
Oh, no? They just recycle that and sell it to somebody else?
They do.
Yeah.
But the reason for that is to stop the concave of dirt, like when
because it'll make a sinkhole.
Right. It's actually it sits inside a concrete box.
Oh, okay.
So they dig a grave,
and they put you in a concrete box so that there's no sinkhole. Put the casket in a
concrete box. They put the lid on that, and then bury it. Right.
Okay.
So you're actually inside something.
Right.
So now, and I know this personally back in the day. That's a whole other story. Is because by right, when you're at a gravesite, say it's your grandmother, you have the right to stand there until they bury it.
Right.
But who fucking does that?
Right.
Everybody leaves. They fucking flip the casket, dump the body in that concrete thing, put the lid on it, take the casket back to the fucking funeral home.
That's awful.
And if people listening disagree with that and say that never happens, you're fucking naive.
Oh, I bet. Because to them, it's just it's their
money.
job.
It's
just like me taking a bunch of pictures. It's their job.
Yeah. So the guy at the funeral home says, "I'll give you $300. You bring that casket back." Or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing a number out, whatever it may be, right? But no, they just fucking, and you don't know, you're gone.
Right? Yeah, you're gone. You're at the repast, like you're.
Yeah, and then they lower the lid on,
right?
And there's just a fucking body in a concrete box.
Yeah.
And like you said, you just paid fucking $10,000 for that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I've made it abundantly clear to my husband and anybody else, I don't want the whole traditional funeral home.
Burn me up, man.
None of that. I want, cremate me, put me in a little vase if you want, or I don't really
Nah, don't
care
even do-
where.
Nope.
But I want just a big party at like a tap house or just a bar or something. Don't do the
That's
whole
it.
viewing. Just everybody get together, have fun, have a bunch of drinks.
Tell
And
fucking-
tell some fucking stories. Just have a
That's
good
it.
time. I
That's
don't
it.
want a bunch of people in a room crying. I don't want the whole spending thousands of dollars for literally nothing.
No, I think it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Right. I
exactly.
want you to celebrate how fucking good times we had.
Yeah. Talk about the fun stuff.
And you can talk about the shitty times too. That's fine, because
you
that's
want.
part of it, right? But talk about all the stupid jokes I tell and the fucking Waltisms and all the bullshit,
Yeah.
right? That's what I want. But I'm going to be cremated. And then there's my favorite road to ride motorcycle on is 115 out in Colorado.
Okay.
It's between Colorado Springs and Canyon City.
Okay.
I want somebody to be right on a motorcycle, and then, of course, if my wife is able, but somebody to dump my ashes while they're riding down the road onto the.
All right. Good to know. So I won't be the bike in the back.
Well,
But you want to be the lead bike.
I don't think the person dumping my ashes better not be the lead.
Because then now it's like what is that?
But I'll be always on the road. You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's just my thing.
That is cool.
Yep. But yeah, that's the whole cemetery thing.
It's just yeah.
I never
None
heard
of
it
it's my
called
scene.
selfish though. I thought that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
never thought of that.
It just
that way.
doesn't feel right to me to take up a corner of the
What about those ones
planet
that-
forever.
build their own little mausoleum. Like you drive down Parkway and you see that, you go right between that one cemetery.
Right. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you
yeah,
see
that
all
one.
these like big
Yeah, the
fucking.
cement or like marble.
Holy
That
shit.
is one thing in New Orleans. They've got
Well,
an
that's because
awesome
the fucking
way.
water
well,
level is
well,
6
yes,
inches.
yeah. Obviously, they don't put their bodies in the ground because they will be
They
floating down the
seriously
street.
will float up. Yeah.
But the way they handle it, and I did an architecture tour in New Orleans, and it was just a walking tour of the houses, and they brought you through one of the cemeteries and explained their process, and it's brilliant actually, and I really think it's the way it should be. So they will have a family mausoleum, just like one of those little marble or stone houses above ground.
Okay.
So they have like 3 slots, and then like on either side, on the left side and the right side, will be like cubbies. So they'll have 3 big slots in the middle. Somebody dies, they go in the top slot. The next person dies, they move the top slot person to the middle slot. New body goes on the top slot.
Okay.
Third person dies. Middle guy goes to the bottom. Top guy goes to the middle. New guy goes on top. Fourth person dies. Well, God willing, there'll be enough time between all of them. That third person, it gets so hot in New Orleans and in those mausoleums,
Sure.
that person's pretty much dust at this point.
So they
So
put
they
'em in a
will go.
bucket and
They
throw
will
'em-
go on the bottom of the mausoleum or into like one of the cubbies if they're not fully disintegrated yet, and then they move everybody down. So you can have generations of an entire
That's
family.
actually fucking really cool.
It's awesome.
How cool
So
is
everybody
that?
can still be together. You're not taking up a ton of space, and it's a very natural process. You're not buying $9,000 caskets,
right.
and every
And
year.
there's what's it, the religion to where you got to be buried with all your body parts? There's religions like that too, right? You
Probably.
And you can't be cremated and all that.
I'm
so that
sure
covers that too.
That covers
because-
that too.
Yeah, yeah.
And then on the day after Halloween, which is Day of the Dead, everybody goes to the cemeteries and they decorate. They clean up the mausoleum. They decorate with flowers. There's usually like food and
of
music,
course,
and it's
yeah.
a big celebration because it's
Day of the Dead.
pretty amazing. But I'm like, that makes more sense to me than any other thing I've ever heard of yet.
That does. So I mean, within, like you said, depending on the time between, right? But you could have
You can
10,
have hundreds
15
of people in there.
Yeah. Or,
And-
well, I'm thinking just one family. You could have 20 people in there without
Right.
even generation.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool way
Instead
of doing it.
A 6 foot fucking
Plot,
hole in the ground.
one person by one person. Yeah, I have a great grandmother who bought a plot in Westchester, and again, like all through genealogy, none of my family really even knew she existed until I found her through research. And I went and I spoke with the rectory at the cemetery. We drove up to Westchester to see if we could find her grave and talk to the rectory. And they're like, yeah, it's very interesting. Now in New York, they're double plots, so they are 2 deep. They're like, she bought 2 plots next to each other, and they're both double plots, so they would fit 4 people. She's like, and she's buried right in the middle of both plots. I'm like, so she bought 2 plots that could fit 4 people, and she parked her ass right in the middle of them, so nobody could be buried
That's
with her.
fucking brilliant.
I'm like, she's really smart.
That was a big fuck you.
And she, a giant, like, that was her parting, like, fuck all y'all.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want any of you near me ever again.
That's beautiful. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you know how they do the double plots through that concrete thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, you couldn't do it otherwise because it would be a big sinkhole.
Yeah. How about you see that stuff like back in the day where they, you know, how they just put a thing under your nose and, okay, he's not fucking breathing. They toss you in a grave and then they wake up and
Oh, well, yeah,
you hear
yeah.
those horror stories.
Yeah, those horror stories.
Fuck,
I
dude.
can't even imagine. Like, I have a hard time watching Kill Bill from that scene.
Oh,
Being
remember,
buried alive.
remember,
God.
What was that fucking show on? I used to watch it all the time. The criminal people in Las Vegas.
Criminal people.
They would investigate.
Hookers.
No, yeah, well, there were some of them. They would investigate.
Ocean's 11.
No, it was a TV show.
NCIS Las Vegas.
Not NCIS.
CSI.
CSI.
Hi.
God, what the fuck? Why couldn't I could picture all the characters and like scenes from the TV show, but I couldn't think.
I've actually never seen CSI.
Oh, I had
So
this,
I'm sorry.
I had this fucking routine that. Thank God for punctuation, right? Fucking routine. I lived in Colorado. I would
Right.
come home from my day job, and before I went to the bar
Right.
to work, I would sit down. I had this crazy old brown chair that was just amazingly comfortable, and it rocked back and forth, and my coffee table, and I would put my feet up on the coffee table, and I had a Maine Coon at the time.
Oh,
a
there,
cat.
see, if I was ever going to get a cat, it would be a Maine
Yeah.
Coon.
He's 28 pounds.
They're awesome. Yeah, they're huge,
They're
but
fucking
they're like
huge.
dogs. They're
Yeah.
awesome.
So I would sit there and I would watch NCIS on the Spike channel.
Okay, well,
Remember
that's
the Spike?
NCIS.
No, I'm sorry, CSI.
Okay.
Yes, CSI.
Because we have an NCIS ritual, but go on.
Yeah. CSI, and I would watch that, and I'd have I'd eat, and most likely sleep because I just was up all the time.
Right.
But I'd have my feet up on the coffee table, and my cat would watch TV with me. He would sit on the coffee table. You know how they sit like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with their front legs straight up. But he would put one paw on my leg,
Oh,
and he would block half the screen. And I'm like,
we're like,
whatever.
it's cool.
And there was a scene in that. It's a long way around the story, but there was a scene where one of the dudes got buried alive,
Ugh.
and I just
Does it still haunt you?
yeah, fuck that, man.
Yeah, there's some movies and some scenes or books I've read that there's some scenes that just they still haunt me to this
Fuck
day.
that, yeah, no. Mm-mm.
I have to be very careful what content I ingest because things stick with me for years after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
So
that's
I'm
really
very
sticks
careful.
with me. We do a lot of Airbnb. Val loves doing Airbnbs.
Okay.
It's 13 cameras on Netflix.
Yeah. Nope.
You
Nope.
can-
Nope.
I don't even have
Nope.
to. I don't even fucking have to explain what that
Nope.
show is about.
Nuh-uh.
I watched that. But the reason I fucking watched that, a couple weeks prior, we went to Airbnb because Val's a planner. I'm like, I throw a fucking duffel bag
Right,
in the
and
truck
let's go and we'll find a
fucking-
place to stay.
Right.
Right.
So she's like, I got this Airbnb, and I'm like, great. We pull in, and I text Ash, and I said, this is my address. This is where I'm at. And we haven't even been in the fucking house
Oh
yet.
God. If you don't hear from me,
If I don't text you in the morning, this is the last place I was. And she's like, are you fucking serious?
you're like,
I'm like,
you should maybe not stay there. Maybe.
well, I just, and
You
then
know,
the guy
hang the
came-
plan and go find a Hampton Inn.
Yeah. So I like a good adventure.
Yeah, but if you
You
got,
buried a goat on the first
I
date.
did,
Come on, man. Now
I
you're
did, but again, he was a known entity. This house, it sounds like the
Holy
Bates Motel.
shit, right? So the guy come out, kind of nice, you know. I didn't get like a bad vibe from him. He wouldn't even look at me. Dealt with Val the whole time, and I kind of blew it off. I said,
Yeah,
"Okay,
no, that
Val's-"
raises a flag.
It did, but like Val was dealt with him the whole time.
Doesn't
But-
matter. Dudes will usually stick to the dude
Right.
out of respect.
Right.
Yeah, there's a code.
So we go in, and it's one of those to where we didn't have his whole house. We had like a room or
Okay.
like part of his house. And I guess with Airbnb, we have to be secured from his house, his side of the
Okay,
house.
right. Yeah, there's
on-
locks and stuff
But come on.
on adjoining doors.
How easy is that to fucking...
Yeah, somebody.
right? So we get in, and it's beautiful. The guy did, I mean, it was fucking crazy beautiful. The guy did all sorts of crazy work. But this is how my mind works because of all the fucking scary movies I watch. The bed was on this fucking wooden platform. It was weird. It was like a raw platform. It wasn't painted.
So it was like just like particle board or
it's
like
wood, raw wood, right?
wood.
It was like pine, but you know,
Okay.
it's like, and I was like, it's kind of weird. You know?
that is weird.
And then he's like, look at the bath. And the bathtub was this crazy cool bathtub, super deep, all slate. It was crazy. He's like, you should take a bath. You should take a bath. You should. And he said it like multiple times. And I'm like, this is fucked up.
Not okay. Oh, so wait. He just wanted to make sure that it was deep enough so that when he puts you in there with all the ice after he harvests your organs.
See?
Nothing's going to spill out.
I'm glad you think the same way
Yeah.
I do.
You're like, this dude's going to harvest my liver.
So, yeah, exactly.
And trust me, he does not want my liver.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, you don't want that. And so he leaves, and I look at Val, and I'm like, this is fucked up. I am not comfortable here.
Yeah.
You know, I said, I go, look at, does this seem weird to you? Look at the bed. Look how the bed sits on the sink. And in my mind, the floor is going to open up. The bed's going to go down into this fucking torture
into some
chamber.
dungeon.
Right.
Yeah, some German sex
I
dungeon.
didn't sleep fucking for nothing. Val fucking like a baby.
Oh, good for her.
You know?
Yeah,
But
no, I'd be up.
I didn't sleep all night. And then she did try taking a bath, but it never would fill up. The water would even with the drain closed, it would never fill up.
That's
And Val goes, if he wants to see me naked, I don't care.
how do you feel with the whole internet seeing you naked?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I actually looked on Amazon. I need to order them, but they do have sensors that you can use for to see if there's closed or if there's surveillance cameras in use. We do have the black light thing, which
I don't even ever want to do that.
You do. You need to know.
No, I don't need to know.
Trust me when I tell you.
Fuck that.
You need to know because. Well, especially when I had kids, because kids climb on everything, they touch everything, they put their mouths on everything. It's like, you do not want to put your mouth. I'm just telling all of you boys, you know, my sons and everything. I'm like, guys, do not sit on the chair on the desk. Just trust me when I tell you.
Don't touch
there's
the desk.
a white puddle from the seat of the chair that drips all the way down the front of the chair. Some horrible things have been done in this chair. Do not use
God.
it.
See,
But if I did not use the black light, somebody would have sat in that chair. Somebody,
absolutely.
Absolutely. So I'd like to know. I'd like to know.
Nah, see, I don't need to know that.
Yeah, you do.
No.
I mean, maybe now that
That's
I'm
what I
not
have
traveling.
an immune system for.
Well, good for you. You're immune to gonorrhea and crabs. Well done. No, when you're traveling with kids, you got it. But as an adult, like I'm not going to be putting my mouth on the friggin' desk chair in a hotel room. But a kid's dumb enough to do that.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
4-year-old.
And I'm not just saying like, yeah, exactly, like any kid.
Yeah,
Any kid
I
would
do,
do that.
but that's besides.
So that kiss on the cheek hello we exchanged today that's the last time that's ever happened.
Whatever.
Because
Hey,
you put your mouth on things.
I usually pay extra for that stuff. But the whole Airbnb thing is.
I've not stayed in one yet. And I know people that do and they have amazing
We've had crazy
experiences.
Cool
Yeah.
It's super cool.
But it just, it freaks me out a little.
does. I
It's
mean,
like
you could have
Uber freaks me out.
Oh, yeah, getting a stranger's car
Totally.
fucking, right? But
Yeah. It's like, okay, well, so he's got a good rating, and that just because he hasn't killed yet doesn't mean that he's not going to snap today, or I don't look like his ex-girlfriend that dumped him, and
it triggers something.
It
right?
triggers. He's
or
a sleeper.
You say a keyword or
yeah,
something.
He's a sleeper. He's a Russian sleeper.
He's a sleeper, and I say,
like,
"Hey, how's it going?"
You're like, oh, must kill president. I just Uber freaks me out. Because it's just, I feel like there's no recourse with Airbnb. Whereas if I go to a hotel chain and if I have a horrible experience at a Marriott or a Hampton, I can
you
call
have the
somebody.
benefit of
I can go onto Twitter and say something, and they will respond immediately if you do that. Airbnb?
Well, it ruins their ratings, and they still like. There is some recourse for that if they because there are people that take it very seriously and they do very well.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
that's cool.
Yeah,
but this one was.
But there's got to be some that are sketchy.
Of the country, and it was just weird. And I just wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, I have a question for you.
3 days a week.
Hinky versus janky.
What the fuck does that even mean?
You've never heard the words hinky or janky?
You're gonna have to put. Yes, I've heard it, but put it in context.
Okay. Well, that was my question for you because it's a little, not a debate, it was a conversation we had the other day
Hinky.
of when something is hinky, it's usually it's synonymous with sketchy, whereas like a person can be hinky.
Okay.
And whereas questionable,
Okay.
right, suspicious.
Okay.
And janky is usually, we think, subscribed to the inanimate, like, oh, that car is acting kind of janky. Or the electric in that house is kind of janky.
Janky.
Yeah.
That one doesn't sit with me as good as hanky, though.
Yeah, so I wanted to get your take on that.
Hanky,
as a lover of words, I thought you would have an opinion on this.
Hanky, yeah, she's a little hanky.
Yeah.
He's a little hanky.
Right.
I can see that. Janky, I don't feel that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be a slang somewhere in the country, some part of the country. It's a slang.
Okay.
To be janky, that might be a thing. That car is janky. Don't buy it.
Right.
I could see that, but it's just not.
You're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling that.
All right.
Hanky,
I was just
I'm
wondering
feeling.
if you had any opinion on those.
Yeah, hanky, I like.
All right. Well, you've disappointed me again.
I'm a man. I beat you to that punch.
No,
you were
I'm
gonna
not.
say something.
Absolutely not. I have so many great men in my life that I know, family, friends. I'm not. I've never been like, oh, stupid men, or boys will be boys. No, dude. Like, are there some man children out there? Sure. Just like I know some women that are completely fucked up and useless.
Yeah.
It's
a context. You got to put it in context.
It's everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I've got a lot of great guys in my life that have, that are good, decent, honorable, hardworking human beings. Nah.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of stupid guys. Well, I know one really close to me right now.
Eric?
No, he's like 3 feet away.
That's fucked up. Well, thanks for coming down.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It was worse, actually.
Was it?
Far
Good.
worse.
That's a huge compliment from you. Because you're like, I don't know, I'm a little.
A little nervous. But nah, I knew it would be fine. I knew it was.
Did you have fun?
Yes, I would say so. I will give you a solid 3.5 stars on Yelp.
3.5?
Okay, 4. Fine. But I will note that you begged for that half star.
Perfect.
Be like, it was going to be 3.5, but he begged. So take it for what you will.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, thanks for coming down.
Well, I hope I was entertaining.
Oh, you're always entertaining. I always enjoy
I
spending
think
time with you. We don't really hang out much because I don't network anymore.
Right. Yeah, and I refuse to because I'm not getting up at 7 a.m. to network. It's just not happening.
Networking a bit.
It's not happening. I'll do like hanging out at night networking, but no, the 7 a.m. stuff's not for me.
Yeah, and I think the only place I see is at the card game, right?
Yeah, I think so. Card game, and so because you've got your new gig now.
Yeah.
That's going good?
Oh, I fucking love it.
Yeah, awesome.
Blue collar work. I'm fucking tired every day I get home. It's amazing.
Oh, what are you doing?
Field area manager for U-Haul.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I get up, I go get a work truck in the morning, and I drive around and make sure dealer, like you see, like a hardware store has U-Haul trucks.
Right, or like a garage
station,
or something,
right.
yeah.
I go and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay.
And then make sure the equipment's up and operational. So
right.
I fix a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because a lot of those can be kind of janky.
Janky, exactly. I knew you were going to come up with But yeah,
now you're going to use it. You're going to be like, your shit's all fucked up and janky.
Yeah, be like, Sharon, Sharon. But yeah, that's
awesome. So you're on the road all day too.
All day.
And I love it. Right?
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, but I'm in like Newark and Jersey City all day.
That's not great.
And truck routes, because I drive a truck, so I can't go.
Like how big? Like a box truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you can't,
dually with commercial plates. So
so you can't, there's roads you can't go on.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do, like, they are waiting for you to just pull you over.
Oh,
They're just waiting.
They pounce on you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So, fuck it. If somebody said, write down a job that's, like earlier you were saying, okay, what would I like?
Mm-hmm.
How would I couldn't describe this job any better.
Okay.
It's a perfect fit for me.
Okay, so it ticks all the boxes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every single one.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's hard to find those.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, though, you're the same. I can check my ego pretty quick. Like, if there's a couple things that I don't like about it, that's okay. Mm-hmm. Not every job's going to be perfect.
Totally.
And I'm not going to jump on that one little thing that I don't like.
Right.
And ruin everything that else is good.
Right. Yeah, because there is
you see that a lot
so much. Yeah, some people, like, if everything isn't perfection, it's all awful, and it's garbage, and it's terrible.
Like, seriously,
yeah,
dude?
no, like, there's definitely, I would say for me, just one of the biggest challenges is just getting people to pay sometimes. Because I'm going to start switching to a platform where they have to pay up front beforehand. So I have to
Or at
chase
least
people.
some.
Yes, well, that's hard to do. Well, I'm just saying up front before they get their photos.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's been more on me just for my process. But so now I just need to change my process. But that would be of all the things that I do, and there's so many facets and different tasks that I do all day, and between in the field and at home, that would be my biggest complaint, and it's nothing. It's nothing.
Well, the way I look at it, and I could change the math on it, but I've been saying this for years. 80% of the time, I fucking love what I do. 20% of the time, I'm doing what I need to do to get back to the 80%.
That is exactly correct.
And if somebody says they love every fucking minute of their job, they're full of shit.
Yeah, it's not realistic.
There's something you don't like about your job.
Yeah, there's something that you might not love.
If I love what I do, I won't work a day in my life. Shut the fuck up.
See, well, and that was another part of why I wanted to do my thing, is because I didn't want to be like, I'm going to work really hard for 45 years and then I can relax when I retire. I know so many people who never made it to retirement.
Yeah, of course.
So I want to enjoy my everyday, because I have no idea how many more I've got.
Absolutely. No, I'm the same
I don't want to
way.
wait till retirement.
Well, did you see my the quote on my website? I quoted Achilles from the movie Troy. Mm. Did you ever see that?
A long time ago. It was Brad Pitt, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
with really bad hair.
Come on, Brad Pitt doesn't have any bad hair, does he?
Yes, he does. Legends of the Fall. Thank you, and you're welcome.
Legends of the Fall.
Oh, yeah, look it up. Bad.
Bad hair? I don't know.
It's so bad.
I don't look at hair because I don't have any.
Oh, that's sad. You have some.
Sad.
I see some peeking out
I'm
of
not.
your nose.
I was waiting for ears, actually.
No, I can't see your ears. You've got headphones on. That would be just ignorant of me.
Hey, let me pull this up real
Walt
quick.
is scrolling through his iPhone
Yep. Completely.
with the agility of a sloth.
Oh, absolutely. So
A lot of memes in there.
to put this in context, you're picking on my digits. Do you know how many times I've sprained and broken my fingers? They don't work very well.
Oh, wow. Now he made me the bad guy.
Picking on me like that. Where the fuck did this go? Motherfucker. Dude,
The agility of a sloth with broken fingers.
Stop it. Yeah. Oh, well, see.
And toes, because they only have toes, don't they?
You know, they only come out of the tree to shit.
Really?
Did you know
That's
that?
smart, though.
Yeah, I don't
You're
know.
a wealth of information.
I know. You like that? What else you want to know? Well, I scroll through this.
Does scrolling make great broadcasting?
What the fuck? Apparently not. Anyway.
We need some music to accompany this. Some intermission. Yeah, that would work. Clown music.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to kick you off.
Okay, I got to go.
You're fucking out of here.
Sounds fine to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I do. A link to Sharon's photography work will be in the show notes, and would love to have you guys on. Anybody wants to come on and tell a good story or just have great conversation, I truly enjoy that. That's why I started this project. And you might not think it, but everybody has a story. Hit me up at WKTP Podcast on Instagram and Walt's Kitchen Table on Facebook. And you can reach me also, my new website, waltskitchentable.com. Look forward to speaking with you. Much love. Thanks.